Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Faith, Love, and Coffee. I am Trish,
Jamie here.
Jeanette here.
and we are kicking off our fall series, which is Rooted and Renewed. Yes, and today is episode 1. Actually, it's episode 21, really, but one of the series. So, and this particular episode is letting go, what this season is teaching us. Let it go.
Let it
I had to
go.
do it, y'all.
But you know what's funny? Even from last week, our brief introduction to this series and kind of chit-chatting a little bit, I found a new I opened my Bible app again. I told y'all last week I'd kind of gotten a little off track with that. I just kind of let it remind me and I close it. So I got back morning and night, and then taking the dog for a little bit longer walks, when I can, letting him just kind of, I guess reset too. So this one is going to be good. I feel like, yeah, I already kind of started from last week, getting it together.
Good. I'm so happy to hear that. Any revelations, Miss Jeanette?
Nope. Just trying to let go of some of that negative energy that comes along with some people,
Yeah.
There's a friend of mine that does nothing but complain, right? Like, no matter if they win the lottery, they'd probably complain about something about winning the lottery.
How many taxes probably taken out?
Yeah. Or something. So I've kind of been trying not to associate with that person right now because, I've got so much going on, right? So I don't need that negative energy that they tend to give off as part of what's going on. So kind of just letting go of some of the negativity that some people bring to my energy.
And that's part of what we're going to get down to a little bit later, because that's even talking about letting go of some relationships that don't serve you. So, and sometimes that's harder than we think, or it has you questioning sometimes, is it me? Rather than that person, is it just me? How have I changed? How have I, looked at this person? But anyway, that's a little bit later on, as we, get into this. So fall, is about, we talked about it a little bit last week, but I'm shedding, y'all. Is about slowing down, reflection, and then of course, releasing what doesn't serve us anymore. So this is more of your spiritual and emotional art of letting go, so
Do y'all think? I have a question. Based on that.
Okay.
The art of letting go and maybe people, right? Do you guys find it, or is there a politically correct way to say that person just doesn't fit where I am, rather than man, she cuts people off no problem. You know what I mean? Because you have people who will just is there a balance of some sort? Because I know people personally who cut people off very easily.
Yeah.
You're wow.
What are you talking about? My husband.
Well, I mean,
he does. He says, and he's one of those people who you cross me one time. He goes, and that's it. We're done. And I'm like, man, grace, dude, grace. You don't know what that person's doing.
Yeah, that's a good word there, because that's where I think as women, I think we try to do that, give more grace, maybe. But is that what you say? Okay, this person, for instance, your friend Jeanette, kind of just negative Nancy, but then you're okay, I'm going to give her grace because maybe she hasn't reflected and come up with, ways to not be negative. You know what I mean? So where do you draw the line at? This person no longer suits me in my journey. Mm-hmm. And the other side of you got to go. You know what I mean? where's that line? Because I want us to continue to say, this person just no longer fits my journey. But
Yeah.
somebody else may look and be like, dang, she cuts people off like, no problem.
But it's not always that. Like sometimes you outgrow a person.
Mhm.
You can outgrow them. Like, and it's sad. And it's not that you don't care about them and you don't love them. You've just outgrown your relationship and your friendship, your relationship, whatever. But that doesn't mean that you hate them and you don't want to associate with them anymore. It just means that you might need to step away for a minute
Yeah.
because you've outgrown each other. And that happens quite a bit.
Oh, great news, Perez. What's going on?
It's Sunday.
I know. She's like, is it Sunday?
She's like, wait,
But
what?
Terry,
really
we're
wanna
trying
be
this
like-
out. So,
I
because,
know Teacher
Saturdays
will.
and Sundays are very important to us. And Sunday we were trying Sundays and we did to Saturdays, and now we're Wednesday nights because our weekends are so sacred to us. So we just decided during the week we thought this time would be a good time, and apparently it is because you're watching.
I need
You
to
need
speak,
I need to speak,
but
but okay.
I need to speak. Okay, what's your news? Come on now.
I know what's going on.
Come on. I need to
Just
speak.
like give us like.
Oh, you need to
roughly-
speak. You want to come on. You want us to, you
oh,
want us to
there's-
let you in.
Oh,
Is that it?
oh,
can
y'all.
y'all hear my dogs being psycho?
Y'all did. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, she's in the best place.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Oh my goodness.
And then to be, oh my gosh, not okay. This is.
I don't know the story, but I'm elated.
Right. I was gonna say this might sound not good, but I don't mean it in a not good way. Perez to be starting over though. That must bring challenges. And what I mean by that is, okay, so like, and I don't know the whole story either, but I know that Terry has grown kids, all grown, all graduated high school. So they're all, I think the baby is like 20 or I can't remember. But then this baby girl shows up at their doorstep, and I mean a baby, infant baby. And I believe it's a family member. It is a family member, but Terry and her family are the closest family member. And so there was a lot. And so it's like starting over. It was a baby.
It's a reset, y'all.
Yes, so here it is. Yesterday we know, but she is so good. We have 6 kids. The youngest is 21. And so now they have permanent custody of the baby.
Aww.
And she's so sweet from the pictures I've seen. Oh, she's not family. Okay. But y'all were told she was family, correct, Terry? That's what y'all were told at first.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I'm waiting.
Wow. And
Yeah.
y'all just took this baby in and loved on her, and then you're getting custody of her. Well, not you're getting, you have.
Yes.
You have.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to tell you this you met her at my 40th at Taco Fuzzies or whatever it was called.
Yes.
So y'all did do DNA. Okay. I think I was trying to keep up with this story here, but it was like, so anyway, those of y'all who don't know though, Terry, I don't know her husband very well. I just know they've been married forever. But she is amazing, like phenomenal faith, God-fearing. I mean, just all around sweet lady. And so this baby is just in the best, I mean, oh my gosh,
In
the best
place.
hands. Yeah, the best hands. I'm so
Aw,
excited.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm so excited for y'all.
That is great. That is really great.
So we'll have to have you on, Terry. We'll have to have you on at some point. I'm not sure. I don't know this series that we're doing right now is just kind of like fall reset and, rooted and renewed today. But like, there's some parts that you could very well fit in and share those things, with us, like especially what you've just gone through. I mean, wow. I'm not kidding.
But
Like,
isn't it? But isn't it, Terry? Though, like you just said, that you and God have been at odds. Listen,
I
I'm
think all of us
sure
have been there.
we've all had our, we've had moments and, seasons in our life where it's like, we're yelling up saying, where are you? Where were you during this time? But, I firmly believe that when he leaves us alone, he truly does not leave us alone. It's because we need a boost.
Yeah.
And he's always there and he has a plan for us. So, I mean, I know that's so cliche, but there's no other way to put it. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever had happened in that season, let me tell you, this little girl is benefiting because you're in her life. I'm seriously, yes.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that is such wonderful news.
Oh.
Okay. See, and
Yeah,
that's,
well, we're going to have to talk.
oh yeah, you
Yes.
have to, yeah, we're going to have to.
Yes, girl. We're gonna have to. Yeah, we're gonna have
Yes.
to have the whole thing about that because I was about to say maybe we can have you on and you can discuss like how your other children are taking this, and you just confirmed for us,
Yeah.
this. So yeah, I would really like to see what we can do and pull this in.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, a whole thing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but then talking about letting go, right? Letting go of some of the anger and some of the, everything that you went through and just letting that be in the past because you need to be able to move forward with this new child in your life. And it's just one of those things that we praise God for, and that it's just like I was telling my daughter, she's just 15, but she still holds on to things that when she was a kid and stuff. I'm like, you don't live back there anymore. Every day you step through a new door and you need to shut the one that was there before. So and just leave it alone. I know sometimes we like to open those doors and then crack it open and see what's inside, but listen, those doors are closed for a reason. So they no longer serve you. And they, again, that needs to be let go.
Yeah.
I mean, I can talk all this all day long, and sometimes I'm just like, ooh, you need to stop cracking those doors open to you, Trish, because, we're human, right? So, but I'm so happy about this little girl.
Yeah. And I think Terry would have, especially right now, with this season of you feeling like you and God have been at odds. And then now, though, you can really look at it and be like, was it that, or was it like necessary for me to go through all of that? I know, I wish you could too. I've seen them on Facebook pictures, but like,
well, that brings up a good, and that's a good segue. And thank you, Terry, for doing, because that's a good segue into two scriptures. Okay. And this is about that. So Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. So there's a time for all that. And then I do believe it says here, Isaiah 43, and then it's 19, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. And see, you are doing a new thing. So see?
Absolutely.
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 Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So those are two great. Those are two great Bible verses to think about during the season, and about letting go and letting God.
Yes. That second verse really just kind of reminds me of like where I am now as far as career wise. I didn't think I would get back into a classroom. And so now it's like, now that I'm back I say classroom, I don't even have my own classroom. I just push in, but like to be back in a school, it is so different, and I'm getting adjusted to it again, but I've been learning so many things. Like, I feel like I think it's what I needed that I didn't know I needed.
So interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really crazy. I actually like going to work. Like crazy. Who would have thought?
Mm-hmm.
A teacher liking to go to work. Just kidding. But like y'all know it's tough. Y'all know the job is tough.
We
But
do.
yeah, I was like Jeanette, I've been sick for 2 weeks almost, like nasal, sleeping, tired. Previous schools, I would have taken off and been like, I'm just not feeling good. Like I'm sick.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone to work and only because I felt like it wasn't anything contagious. But I went to work. I normally would not. I'm that person.
Hmm.
So this season is teaching me take your sick behind to work. Quit playing. No, just kidding. But no, I think it's just teaching me that this is what I needed.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. So, Jeanette, any news from your corner?
No, I just can't wait to hear about this baby adoption. I love babies.
I know.
Yeah.
I have another friend too going through a similar situation, kind of.
Oh.
Not permanent custody, but she's a oh my god, y'all, refresh my memory.
A foster mom? Maybe?
Yes, hello, thank you.
Yeah.
And so
Foster, yeah.
yeah, I could not think of the word. And so I talked to her a couple of weeks ago and she was like, please pray that the baby stays with us just a little bit long. You know what I mean? Like not forever, right? But enough to like till the parent or family can get themselves together. And so I just love to see that. I love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, okay, custody, not adoption, but custody still.
Yeah.
That's huge still.
Well, if you get permanent custody, isn't that
Mm-mm.
no?
No.
All right. Wow.
Adoption makes it like for real, for like they become the parents
Okay.
or guardians, or you know what I mean?
Right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still, they still could have taken that baby at a custody hearing.
Okay. So, Jeanette, I know you were talking about this friendship that you're wanting to kind of release. So, actually, that is one of the things, or it's common for one of the things that people say they want to let go of. Okay. So, other things or friendships that no longer align with us. Another thing is perfectionism and burnout, letting those things go. Roles that kept them or roles that kept us or whoever in survival mode. Fear of starting something new. And I feel like, Jamie, you could probably touch on this point because you've moved into you moved into an apartment by yourself. It's been since you were 22 since you've actually been by yourself, and now we're in your 40s ish.
Pushing 50.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, girl. And then so I mean, walk us through some of that because I know you had some trepidation there. And have you like come to terms with this yet? Is it something that you're going to let go of? If it's something that's still kind of, does it linger with you? Give us some insight.
Well, I'm going to be honest. It's pretty hard still. I try not to think about it much, right? I'm just day to day, like go to work, come back or whatever. But like letting go of people who no longer like fit your journey, who you thought should, it's hard to not be angry or upset or like feel certain ways. So for me, this is what I've kept telling myself is you became a different person because of that other person. And I looked in the mirror a lot and I didn't like who that person was for so long. And so now I look in the mirror and I might not like what I see, right? I'm always going to be that person, but I like the person I decided I needed to be. Like, I need to do this. And so it's hard to start over. It's hard to be by myself, especially because that's not what I guess you could say I promised to do. And it just doesn't, I mean, and I still get mad, like I do, because I still hear from him. And it makes me mad because it's not so easy to just, okay, let me forget all of this stuff and just start over and move on. Like, some people can do it, and I so appreciate those people. But for me, there's so much more I think I need to learn. Like, this season has to be teaching me something. And I really think it was at this point, or is at this point, that I need to stop being so afraid of being uncomfortable. You get so used to your comfort zone. And I had to say, I have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And it's weird, but I have to keep trying to do that. I don't want to go backwards. And I don't want to cry because I feel it coming. My eyes are starting to like.
Oh no, girl.
I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry, but it's hard. It really is hard, especially
Right.
when it's not like it's your husband. Like, I'm just gonna put it out there. Like, it's not a friend. It's not, this is your husband who, like, you changed your last name for. You know what I mean? And like, it's hard. It's hard because I'm not saying that we weren't doomed from the beginning. I'm not going to say that. Like, things were already messed up, but over time I had this idea that it has to get better, right? It has to get better. It has to get better. And it wasn't awful. It wasn't terrible, but it's just things happen that I know I could no longer just be like accepting of. Just, I wouldn't want that for you. I wouldn't want that for my nieces. I would not at all. I wouldn't want that for a friend of mine. I would have been like, hey, you know. So I had to come to grips with that like, if you wouldn't want this for Ariana or my niece in Oklahoma or down south, then I don't want that for me. Why would I, you know? And you're absolutely right, Terry.
Yes.
You're absolutely right. And that's the other thing I try not to stay angry with myself about, because I know that. And I did, you know. So that's why I'm struggling, because I'm like, gosh, you know, but.
And it's going to take a minute because, you know, that was.
God, it hasn't only
almost 8 years of your life.
Yeah.
8
years almost of marriage, and then 10 together. So I mean, and that's the longest. I'm going to say this right here on Facebook Live. It's the first relationship I gave, like, I feel like 100%. I did not, I mean, that was my husband. I did not disrespect any of the situation. You know what I mean? Like, I tried so hard, and I'm not saying he didn't, but like, I took it like, dude, this is my husband. Like, and there's probably people in my past that would be like, man, that heifer like was this way and that way. You know what I mean? And I changed all that. You know what I mean? I tried to be. And so it hasn't even been 5 months. So it's still a little like new and fresh to me. But I don't think I would want anybody to stick around for something just, and especially y'all, I'm going to say this too. We have no kids together. Not that kids are a reason to stay. Not saying that either. But when I do talk to other women and they're like, well, you know, then I'm like, I get it. I get it. Because divorce and stuff for kids, y'all, it's terrible.
Especially today, and all these, you know, with our kids, even more prone to mental stress and mental, you know,
It's terrible.
Yeah, anxiety, that kind of thing. So this is on top of that. And yeah, I mean, sometimes you really have to think about that before, you know,
Absolutely. And I definitely, I'm a proponent of that. Like, I am not a advocate for divorce and single ladies rule the world. No, it sucks being single. Like, it does.
well, we had an uncle who did the same thing. He stayed with his wife until his last child turned 18 and finished high school, and he was out of there like that.
Ow.
But I was like, I had asked him, I said, you just seem like you're not yourself. You seem like you're very miserable. Why do you stay if this person is making you very unhappy?
Yeah.
And he said, we made an agreement that we're doing this for the kids. And I'm like, so you're going to remain miserable for, and I think this was like 7 years until that person was like, the proper age. And I'm like, so you're going to be this way for the next 7 years? I just want to prepare myself, So anyway,
Exactly.
yeah, he stayed. I mean, he was true to his word, and he did it. But as soon as that happened, he was out and he moved on.
Yeah.
So, and I was just like, wow. But then he knew. So I imagine that must have been easier for him to do. I'm sure it wasn't easy, but what I'm saying, it was easier.
Oh yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
I
think it made him feel better. Like, I stayed till like the last one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I guess to make them feel better in their conscience or whatever,
Absolutely.
But I had really wanted to talk about just the symbolism of letting go, even if it's not something that, because like fall, just like we were talking about earlier, talking about the last episode a little bit about how nature actually comes in and it does its own thing, like the leaves, they fall off the trees, and, then it gets ready for winter to actually go into hibernation. And then when spring comes back, the leaves come back more beautiful, fuller, and just God is amazing in how he actually just made everything like this, because there are just times when I am driving home and I'm coming from south, coming back up north, and in the distance I see a mountain range, the mountain ranges that are right there. And I'm like, man, I live close to there. And I'm just like, just in awe of just the beauty and the, magnificence of it all. And it's just, but then again, like fall is coming. So all those leaves are going to start changing, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be those reds and oranges and yellows. And oh my gosh, I'm ready for it, but then I'm so ready for that to happen. And, when that season comes upon us in the next few weeks, and all that, when when a leaf falls off a tree, that's like the tree letting go of that. It's almost like, I don't know, like us, shedding what we don't need as well. So it's almost like we can look at ourselves like, nature, like trees that, we have all these beautiful leaves. And then in the fall, when they actually burst into these gorgeous colors, and then all of a sudden, they fall away. But then at the beginning of the year, when spring comes, you emerge as this beautiful creature again, so, and renewed and refreshed, so I think this is a really good idea to do this. So, and Jeanette, you're just too darn quiet. I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you talk because you haven't said a word.
I
was the same. I was like,
I'm nodding my head. And
well, I was going to say, if y'all don't know though, Jeanette takes pictures a lot of like what you're talking about. And I don't mean the mountains, because like where we live, there's no mountains. But what I mean is like the clouds, the moon, like just stuff that she sees like out there. So like I don't stop and do that. You know how they say stop and smell the roses or whatever. Like Jeanette will literally stop and like take a picture of something, right?
Yes.
If she's at a stoplight, and and I just think that's so like something that I should start trying to do, is make observations like that around me. I'm so always in a hurry. Like, when is the light going to turn green? Oh my gosh. So like maybe Jeanette can shed some light on like how she stays so calm and zen most of the time. Like I feel like no, like I don't. I see it and I'm like, yeah, girl. And she sent me a picture one day and she's like, what do you see in the clouds? And I'm like, a dog? She's like, no, don't you see? Like, I don't even know what. I mean, we talked about it and I was just like, wow, I don't even think to do that. So, like, how do you stay so like with
Well,
nature and yeah, zen and all that?
I don't know. I think I like to see, like every sunset or whatever. I always say that that's God's artwork, right? Because
Mm.
sometimes they're so beautiful and they go from the oranges to the reds to the purples, and it's just breathtaking, right? And I will literally like stop on the side of the road or in a parking lot and just snap a picture and sit there for a moment and take it all in and be like, oh my gosh, that was beautiful. Thank God I lived another day to see the sunset or, the moonrise, or because me and my moon pictures. But I don't know. Like, I just like to, I used to live life not paying attention to stuff. And then, life is too short and we lose a lot. So that's always why I tell people one of my biggest things is live in the moment, live with what is in front of you, take in what is in front of you, and don't worry about next week or whatever. In that moment, take that moment in. And that's why like sometimes I can let things go, because if I'm in that moment and I'm just like, oh my God, stressed out because that person brings that energy, like, why do I want to be that way? Instead of like when I'm with y'all and we're in the moment and we're just so relaxed and laughing and having a great time, it's just live in the moment and take it in and make a memory or in your mind, like snapshot something in your mind. You don't have to necessarily do it with your phone or whatever, but when you go back and you think about it, that memory is going to pop up in your head and you're going to be like, yes, that was positive energy. I had a great time, or whatever. And that's why sometimes I'm like, yeah, this negative energy doesn't work for me and I'm not going to stay.
No, that makes so much sense. Like,
mm-hmm.
God.
Yep, it does.
Because if we live life like worried all the time and stressed out, that's not a way for you to live. Like, why do you want to live that way?
Mhm.
You know?
And that is a fantastic segue into some journaling prompts. So,
Ah,
there are a few questions that are great for journaling prompts if you guys are into journaling. I know Jamie does a gratitude journal. And with these questions, I'm really thinking about picking it up and doing it because when you're talking about reflecting and letting go or just reflecting, period, these are some really darn good questions, y'all. So, I think one of the question that we had asked beforehand is, what am I ready to release in this season of my life so I can create space for what's next? And then, but these are really good. And it's suggested to sit in a quiet space with your favorite cup of coffee or tea and let your heart speak and just write down the words that come. Okay. So the first question is, what am I holding on to that feels heavy or outdated? Okay. And then, which is really good.
I know.
What have I outgrown emotionally, spiritually, or physically, but haven't yet released? So this is where you want to think about routines, relationships, self-image,
Yeah.
like I am so, like I'm trying every diet, everything that I can to try to lose weight for my nephew's wedding. Y'all, it's a struggle. Okay. And it's an only because I know they're going to be taking pictures. And I'm like, I don't even really have pictures of myself anywhere in this house for the past 25 years because I feel like my weight is such a problem when I think that's more me than anything else. Because all my life, regardless of who it came from, I've been told you're fat. You need to lose weight. You need to do this. You need to do that. And of course, now that I had heart surgery 4 years ago, people are like, now you really need to lose weight. And I'm like, do I? Or can I just eat healthy and be okay and exercise and be okay? And if this is the way God intended me to be, then why am I stressing over it?
Yeah.
Okay, so then the third one is, what am I afraid will happen if I let go? And what might actually happen instead? That's a good one.
Yeah.
What would I gain space for if I release this? So let me read that again. What would I gain space for if I release this? So the thing that you're thinking about that you want to show, what would you gain? Like new energy, a more aligned version of yourself, something like that.
Okay.
And then the fifth and last one is, it's not actually a question, it's a prompt. So it says, choose a word or mantra for this season of release. So like for this season, let's say for the next 4 weeks, you have one word that you're choosing to be your word for the season. So examples are like lightness, trust, breathe, unfold, let go. So what do y'all think about that? I think these are great questions.
The word that stood out to me in those, and I know they're just suggestions, but I like breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just because like so much happens during a school day that, we tell each other every day when we're leaving, like, leave it here. It's still going to be here tomorrow, plus some extra. You're really not ever caught up. And that doesn't just go for teaching. That probably goes for y'all too. But like, just breathe. Mm-hmm. If somebody doesn't give you grace, that's on them, not you.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, most people, I think, will. It's just, but I like that breathe.
I like it too.
What about you, Jeanette? I feel like.
No, I like that. But I feel like sometimes people don't give themselves enough grace and they hold on to whatever because they can't let it go. So they don't give themselves enough grace to just release it, breathe, and move forward. I have to tell some friends that sometimes, like, give yourself some grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. Whatever situation is going on, it wasn't it wasn't something you did, and then reflect back on A, B, C, and D, right? Like, yeah. I have a friend right now that calls me their Jiminy Cricket because they're going through a divorce and there's a lot of, am I making the right decision? Oh no, I'm not, and stuff like that. And I'm like, let's do a pros and cons list and let's let go of this. And then they showed me their pros and cons list, and then they did one for themselves, right? Like as an individual. And I looked at that and I came back to them with my pros and cons list for them because they don't give themselves enough grace to see themselves the way other people do. And so, like, I always have to tell some people sometimes, hey, give yourself some grace and just let it go. Breathe and let it go. Don't hold on to that. It's okay. So I think, that's a good way to release is give yourself some grace and release that whatever you're holding on to.
Agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to ask. Is the little doggy playing in the background?
Can you hear them? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm sorry. And I don't care, but I feel like I hear claws and paws and
yes, they are playing tug of war with one of Ryan's little shin guards right now that has a strap on it. And I have to keep muting the microphone because they're growling and they're come right behind me and they're like, which you can hear because we've got hardwood floors over there and then here we've got tile. And I'm just like, right now, seriously, are y'all kidding me? Like, you couldn't wait. But yeah, they're playing.
Or around the bowl, like, are your bowls like made out of metal?
One of them is, yes.
Yeah, so you can hear like the tink tink tink, or they're wearing something that keeps on.
Like you can hear like claws and paws.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Claws, like, and I'm going, are you kidding me?
I'm like, well, maybe that's why she wasn't. That's why.
I know she was muted for a long. I was like, I bet that's what's happening.
Yeah, and that's why I keep going. Like, okay.
I know you keep on looking back, so it's so funny.
Yeah, so Kit Kat, the little dog, she woke up this morning and chose the thug life. So she's been getting into a lot of stuff today. So she went to jail for a little while earlier because she decided she was going to climb on some stuff and get on our formal room dining table, which I don't even know where that came from. And Charlie was telling her to get down and she didn't get down. So Charlie put her in jail for a little bit.
That is so.
And then I said, you know, she didn't choose the thug life. The thug life chose her, you know, but
Mhm.
It's so crazy because like my dog is on the other side of the computer, like
Laid
dead
out.
asleep, like out. So when we get done, I'm gonna have to wake him up to go outside, take care of some stuff, you know. But yeah, I kept hearing those claws, and I'm like, somebody's back there playing.
I'm really surprised that my dog actually has the energy. This dog, who is, let's see, Ariana is 15. She will be 14 in December. And she is still going up and down these stairs like nobody's business. And like you say, do you want to go outside? And she is down those stairs in a second. And then when she comes back, she has to huff and puff coming back up, but that's okay. She makes it up there. Kind of like me, you know, when she makes it up the stairs.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
same for my stinky dog.
it is, she's just in her old age, but oh my gosh. Yeah. But when you were talking just a second ago about the pros and cons, I think that's a great way to let go of certain things in your life that you know, that you're thinking about, or that you're like, man, I've been thinking about this, or I've been doing this and it doesn't serve me, or it doesn't, you know, align with who I am now. Because, you know, everybody changes. We all change. There's so many things that if I could tell you some of the things that I've shed just from my mind, we'd be here all night. But I mean, there are just some things that just don't serve. And there are things that, you know, I don't want other people to, you know, think of me. Cause, you know, sometimes when I'm in my element and I am in like reading the Bible, cause I read in the morning, and they have this new thing at night that like they have this new nighttime reading that is really amazing. But that takes about 10 minutes, and it's this guy who actually is like he's reading what's on the screen, but his voice is just, it just lulls you. It's just so lovely. And it's kind of like one of those, not a British accent, probably more like an Australian accent or something like that. But it's really lovely. And so anyway, yeah, just like I said before, but those things, I mean, like, and I'm really on my element, and there are things that I say, because there's like during the day, you know, we all have jobs that we need to go to, and we're so inundated with stress and everything else that relates to your job and stuff like that. But when you're, you know, like when I'm with people now, you know, especially friends that, you know, used to be a certain way and now they're different, because again, everybody grows, right? Or they don't. But you know, I would like to be one of those people that when I speak, that they can hear God through me. You know, it's not like I'm one of those people who are gonna like, oh, you go do this, go, you know, I'm not a holier than thou person. I'm not one of those, oh my God, I'm an extremist. No, nothing like that. But, you know, I want my words and actions to reflect what I read in the morning. I want to be able to put those scriptures into practice, right? So that's what I wanted to say about that, because I think it's just important. And that pros and cons list is one of those things. Like, I don't want to curse a lot anymore, and I've really cut back on that. And I, you know, something, you know, some other things that, you know, I could write on that list and do that. I think that's a good thing, and I think I might do that this week.
Yeah, and when you do that list, you have to be like 100% honest and not just write down, you know, because some people can sit there kind of like when you're in a job interview and people can lie about their skills or, you know, whatever. So you know how they ask some questions sometimes like, what are your weaknesses? And some people are like, well, I don't have one. Everybody has a weakness, you know. So
that's
I
a big red flag.
when you're doing your pros and cons list, like I feel like you just have to be 100% honest regardless of what it is that you're trying to figure out what needs to be happening, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another good line, or it says, emphasize that letting go isn't giving up, it's trusting God's greater plan. And I think that's very profound. So But I did want to give a shout out, and I'm not a political person, you guys, by any means. I'm not. But there are certain things that do affect me in some way, shape, or form. And normally, when I tell people if it's not affected me directly, I'm not going to worry about it. And this really did not affect me directly. However, I have listened to this young man, and he was a Christian, and he always talks to people about change my mind. I think his mantra was change my mind. And that was Charlie Kirk. And today he was shot and killed while actually, doing his thing, out there doing his thing. And unfortunately, that is just the saddest thing, because this young man was only 31 years old, and he wasn't newly married, but young married, and they had 2 young children. So I don't know who the shooter was or anything else like that. And I don't know what the heck he was thinking, or he or she or whoever it was, because I don't think they found him yet. But people don't understand that their actions affect so many people. And it just wasn't just Charlie that you killed. It was his whole family that is now left without him. And, I think that is just the saddest thing. And he was such a light in the world, and now that light has been extinguished. Sorry. So yeah. I just wanted to say that we are praying for Charlie's family, and that we hope that, even everywhere that I have looked on Facebook and everything, my husband actually came in running in. He goes, "Oh my gosh." I said, "What?" He goes, "Charlie Kirk." And I said, "What about him?" And he goes, "You know who Charlie Kirk?" I'm like, "Yes, of course I know who Charlie Kirk is." He's like, "Someone just shot him." I said, "Is he okay?" So, and then a few minutes later, he was gone. Yeah, it's a sad day, and right before, this is 9/10, tomorrow's 9/11. And of course, we'll never forget what happened in 9/11. But even with that, we still need to trust God that he knows what's best for us, and he knows what's good for us. So, with that being said, do any of y'all have any last thoughts on this particular series? Because I know that in just a minute, I'll be announcing what's coming on next week.
I'd also like to say there was a school shooting in Colorado that has somehow not been as highly recognized as
really
Charlie Kirk person. I am not aware. I know he's passed away. I never heard him speak. I know it's a political thing. There's a lot of stuff going on right now on Facebook. There's left and right, is this and that, and I'm not about to get into
that. I don't care about. It's just that this young man.
I don't either. But we've had school shootings this year. We've had other political figures be killed in this country recently. And so
that shows you how I'm not in touch.
Yeah. So as much as we're talking about this, and I'm not one of those. Life is life. I don't give a.
Yeah, life is life. Exactly.
Something is about to happen now, but at the same time, we also 4 people were shot at a Colorado high school. We don't know their statuses. Last week before, this is an ongoing thing, and I know this guy was in the political limelight. He was at college,
these school shootings and stuff like that. And even with Charlie Kirk.
I'm surprised you're talking about it, to be honest, because
no. What I'm saying is
it's this.
But what I'm saying is it's almost like, forgive me for saying this, but it's almost become like a norm.
Well,
all of it doesn't matter who, just like you said, a life is a life.
Y'all, this literally happens.
This country that these people continue to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah. It literally happened to Trump too at one of his rallies. You know what I mean? He got grazed in the ear or whatever. So it's not, I hate that it's a common, not a common thing, but it's not oh my gosh.
But it's almost like an everyday thing now. It's almost like, oh my gosh, okay, now we had this shooting here and we had this shooting here. And then, you're right. I didn't hear about the Colorado thing. But then again, I don't really turn on the news because of things like this. The only reason I knew about Charlie Kirk is because my husband ran in here, and then it now it's plastered everywhere on Facebook.
Everywhere.
And that was just a young man that I used to listen to because every once in a while, because he was a follower of Christ. I mean, he was
Yes.
a great
And people
person.
are saying that.
And
Yes.
then, and I'm just like, it just boggles my mind, you know,
Yeah.
and just like everything like this does, it boggles my mind. How is this become a norm? How in the world? Even okay, so
Is it accepted?
okay, we had this one thing, and I know we're on a tangent
No,
right now.
and
However, but like my husband's like, no, the world really hasn't changed. It's just now that we have social media. I'm like, oh no, the world has changed. I said, because I remember our parents didn't call for us until the lights came on at night, you know, at 9 o'clock at night. Hey, it's time to come home. It's getting dark.
we knew.
We could play on the streets. We could order that. You come like she's like going, oh, I want to go walk around the block with the dog. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Yeah, things have changed.
It's
So,
tricky.
you know, and then we had this whole thing about like a church last week, they were talking about sex trafficking. This week in school, they were talking about sex trafficking. I said, this is why I keep you close to me. I said, because you are a beautiful girl. I said, and unless you're with somebody and people are around you, somebody may get to you. I said, and this is why I have such a hold on you.
Yeah.
And so
No, I mean, it's a whole
it's just
thing.
so sad that we
so
are
bad
going
that-
through that this
Yeah.
world is doing that.
Yeah.
It's just
And
crazy.
I feel so bad that this young guy with a young family was at a university.
Yes.
We're talking higher education. We're not talking like high school out at the, you know, football field, whatever. At a university.
It's still a school.
And my thing is like, whatever he was talking about, you don't agree with, don't go. Who cares? Like, turn him off or but there are people out there who just
Who are extremists.
they can't wrap their minds around like this is his First Amendment right to talk about whatever the world he wants to talk about. And people
No,
like what he's talking about.
this
I
world
don't have
is
a clue
just
of what he's talked
crazy.
about, but there are people out there that are like, what is going on? You know what I mean? So like, it is such a sad day that this young man could not go and publicly speak at a university.
But it's crazy too because you're like, why now? Why now? Why not? You know, back when you know the elections were going on. Why now?
Agree 100%. Like even when Trump was grazed and all that happened, like I would not want anything to happen to anybody.
No.
It doesn't directly affect me if something happens, just like this young man. But like it might. We say it doesn't directly affect, but it is. Here we are talking about it, and
So
it is a thing that
yeah,
we could be anywhere now, and it just happened.
any of that can
We
happen.
had a guy. We had a real quick at the school. We have like our beginning of the year safety procedures or whatever, and the cop that was there told us. He said, "You really have a greater chance of getting shot at your local Walmart now than you do in a school." Because we have so many processes, procedures, things in place because of all of the things that have happened. And it's true. Like people have been shot at grocery store. Like it's this world is crazy.
It's everywhere.
Mad.
It's nuts. It's nuts. But I'm glad that we have, you know, an outlet like this where we can just come together and just talk about things and just like let it fall away and you know, just for a few minutes, have a little bit of joy and peace, even if it's for 30 minutes or an hour, you know, and, you know, I know we got off on a tangent there, y'all, but
I know, and sorry, but
no.
Like, we all don't agree politically, even in this group, but
we still love each other and we respect each other.
Absolutely. I would never.
That is what that is about, is just, you know, respecting each other. And that way you know, and each person can talk about what they want to talk about because we have that dynamic.
Yeah.
So I think
because I thought we would bring up September 11th tomorrow. I really did, because like 3,000 people plus like almost 3,000 people lost their lives.
Yeah.
That was something that in 2001 none of us
ever would think that
would put on the radar. Not to say that what happened to this young man happening today is not still sad and obnoxiously crazy. we kind of like, dang, again, 9/11 stopped everything for all of us for like at least a week. No airplanes were flying, mail wasn't moving, nobody was doing
Nothing.
anything. But I'll tell you this, and I'm going on the record again live, that's the most patriotic this country has been in my lifetime. Now, I know
Yes.
Vietnam happened and I know wars happened and all, but right,
Mhm.
9/11 in my lifetime, the country has never been more united. And not to be funny, but there was political divide a little bit too. Like Bush had just come into office. He was dealing like to put that, oh my gosh, like that was crazy. So like that to me was the biggest thing I'd experienced.
Mhm.
Right. And even to this day, I still think that's the biggest.
I still think, and I think you're right. And
So,
that
in
I
my
think you're
generation,
absolutely
or
right.
our generation, right? So like for me, I mean, tomorrow I'm going to represent we will, never forget 9/11. We're going to, at the school, probably have like silence at a certain time. Like
Mhm.
that, I mean, yeah, that to me, I thought we were going to like bring that up, which we have, but like, it's,
Well, I mean, it is a historic time, and that is, yeah, that's just something that we all. I mean, tomorrow is 9/11. I just wanted to, just bring that up, and that we will never forget. So,
yeah, absolutely.
and Jeanette has her microphone off.
Sorry, my dogs move closer now. They're like right here. Yeah, so 9/11, on my dad's side of the family, we actually had a relative that died at the Pentagon and they never found him. And he was young and all of that. And so, it's really sad to think that his family never got true closure to be able to go and bury him because to this day they have not found him. So,
I did not know
so if you
that.
ever
I'm so sorry.
if you go to the Pentagon, like they've got little memorial markers out there. So when we went to go visit them, we found his and we took some photos near there. So yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, 9/11, that was some crazy stuff. That was crazy times. And I remember how it brought people together as we all watched our televisions and there was a lot of silence during that time. A lot of silence during that time.
I remember she called me. My sister, she called me and was like, "Are you watching the TV?" And I was like, "No." But Devin and I had just gotten up, and Devin was a late sleeper. But that day, for some reason, I told him, "You woke up in the midst of what was happening." And so she called, and I was like, "No." And we watched talking the second plane, like,
Going to the tower and second tower, which was crazy.
And I was like, "What? Am I dreaming? What is this a movie?
Yeah.
What is going on?" And then it just from that, and the reason I say, y'all, that like everybody came together, nobody cared who was president, nobody cared. Like, and Bush came out and was like, "This is unacceptable. We're not going to take this. We're going to," and like and we all were like, "Yeah, let's go." You know what I mean? Like, so it's so sad though how just 24 short years we've turned into this. 24 years, y'all. It's like a long time, but it's really not when you think about
quarter of a century.
Yeah,
well, 25, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but when you think about how long our country has been, a country, and I'm like, we've been here a long time. So like 24 years is just kind of like a snippet. And to think that we've evolved into this, like it's troublesome. It is troublesome. It really is sad. It is so
I almost
sad.
wish that they never came forward with all the platforms, all the social media platforms. Although we are on a social media platform, which is great, but for this kind of thing, you know what I mean? Nothing for some of the stuff that is out there, and it's just scary. The whole dark media, that kind of thing, it's just scary, y'all. So,
and I'm hoping some people will do like what this series is like, suggesting or encouraging, is just let some of that stuff go.
Yes.
Like Jeanette said, life is too short. You got to stop and just I don't know. Just and like we've said when things happen like this, like not just pray for Charlie Kirk's family, but at this moment, we again pray for our country, pray for our people. Like, just we need something.
Mm-hmm.
Something has to happen, y'all. I know
Yes,
we
you
went real dark and sad, but like, dude, it's sad. It's sad.
is. Okay, well, now that we've done that, and it's really time to go, but I did want to bring up what's coming up on episode 2 of this 4-part series. So next week we're going to be talking about harvesting stillness, finding peace in a noisy world. And it's pretty darn noisy, y'all. It really is. So anyway, any other last thoughts before we close?
I think everybody needs to take a moment or two this coming week and see what's in front of you and take a picture of something beautiful. A leaf, a flower, a tree, your neighborhood, just take it in, take a photo and just share it with us. And that way we can
Okay.
see
That sounds
the
like a
world
great
through
thing
other
to do.
people's eyes,
I like that.
Yes.
I will
I do
do
like that too. And then I guess we could try to share it.
Yeah, we can try
I
to
think
share.
there's a way that we can actually maybe throw it in the comments, maybe upload and maybe share our photos.
Oh, that would be good if we
We
can
can
do
try.
that.
I think I can
Yeah.
try that, and I can look and see how we can do that. There's so many new things that's going on with this specific platform that we're using, which is StreamYard. And there's a lot of updates that just came about that are really cool. So I need to read a little bit more into that, and so that way we can bring y'all the best stuff out there. And see how we can actually do that. I think we are able to do that, you guys.
I do too. I'm
Yeah.
looking at the bottom at our stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we can. So that's pretty awesome.
Okay, that's gonna
So
be good.
yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna have a picture for you next week.
Yeah, Jeanette's challenge.
Jeanette's challenges for that.
Jeanette's
So
challenge.
you have a challenge?
I don't. I'm gonna do Jeanette's challenge.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna
I'm doing the
complete
pros and cons thing too, I think. So if I
Mm.
can get around to it, I think we'll do some of the pros and cons.
I only did that when like trying to figure out job situation.
Well,
I've never looked
that's
internally to
cute.
be like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do a pros and
Yeah.
no.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and close this out. So we've been over here for a little over an hour, even though we did start late. We're about, we're about an hour and 3 minutes in. So we're going to keep it simple this time and go with our regular. Just remember to keep faith, spread love, and savor every sip of life. Until the next time, take care and keep brewing positivity. We'll see you the next time on Faith, Love, and Coffee. Bye now.
Bye.